what's up you guys, this is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on the Snapshot, melee combat has never been this fancy when we take a look at the Gunsen. Now, you can pick up the Gunsen's blueprint in the Tenno lab of your clan dojo, but only after you completed the appropriate research. Just do be aware, it does require Mastery Rank 10 to craft. However, if research isn't really something that you want to wait for, you can always pick it up pre-built in the market along with the weapon slot and catalyst for 190 plat. So the Gunsen is the first set of fans in the melee roster. It features a fairly hefty 28% status chance, which pairs quite well with its high base slash and fast attack speed. Now, while its critical stats aren't the most impressive on the block, sitting at a 16% chance and a 2.0 times multiplier, it's just good enough to make Blood Rush viable. And admittedly, while on paper its stats aren't revolutionary, where it truly shines is its moveset, incorporating rakes, kicks, acrobatic flips, along with twirls, flourishes, and the occasional batting of the fan. This new category in the roster proves that a little flair goes a long way. Now, as for the build, this one is pretty straightforward, and I'm sure that you have seen this on plenty of my Zaws before. Basically, it's a hybrid critical slash status build that focuses on viral. Now, clearly we went with viral because it pairs extremely well with the Gunsen's high base slash. So we've got the viral halving the health, the slash bypassing the armor, and just basically shredding through your enemies. Now, of course, this is what I personally like. If you wanted to, you could actually go for a full status build. Toss Blood Rush and Organ Shatter, and you can toss in the Fire status Elemental as well as Weeping Wounds, and that one works just fine also. You can also try out a full slash build, toss in a Buzzkill and a Relentless combo, and that's fantastic as well. There's a lot of possibilities when it comes to the Gunsen. However, this is the one that I chose to go with, so let's go ahead and take a look at how it plays out. Alright, so following in the same vein of something I had said earlier, you have seen this build before. You know how this performs, and you know how this shreds enemies in little bits, like you've seen right there. And the big reason you've seen this build before, and you've seen the way that this weapon performs before, is because we've seen very similar stats on other weapons before. Basically, for those of you guys who know your Zaws, this is an Arquana Jai 2, which is basically 20, I believe it's 25% status or 24% status, something along those lines, and it is 14% crit. So this is very similar because this has a 28% status and a 16% crit. So I saw that instantaneously. I was like, I know exactly what I'm doing with this. And because of the fact that it has such high slash, I was like, this is gonna be perfect. Now, the one thing that I do have to put out there is that's not something that is going to be a shocker to many people who've been playing this game for a while, mainly because of the fact that there are so many weapons out there. There are tons, so we're going to see a lot of very, very similar statistical spreads. The question is, how does DE make it different and make it interesting? And that's when we see the incorporation of the new weapon type, which are the fans. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as cheesy it sounds, I am a fan of the fans. I really like the moveset. It's got some hilarious, like, I don't know, there's some weird dance move types. Like, I'll show you one right now, if I can get it right. Hold on. But okay, first of all, the fanning, the self-fanning of this, I almost feel like it's a taunt, because I don't think that that could possibly strike an enemy, right? The little self-fan she does on the basic combo, that's just purely for like our own kind of like boastful enjoyment, right? It's not really anything, but this kick always cracks me the hell up. Hold on, let's see. Let's wait for him to get up. One more time. No. Oh, I couldn't get it to go off. But there's that little kick that she does on this one that just launches enemies. And here's the thing. I've been playing around with that combo a lot, and it doesn't seem to launch enemies in a normal way. It doesn't kind of ragdoll them in a traditional way. It's just weird the way, like, I feel like it almost kind of kicks them off to the side a little bit, which maybe isn't the greatest for melee combat, but is kind of fucking hilarious at the same time. And that's really how I feel about the fans. The fans just have so much personality to them, from the weird tango moves, because I feel like, look, this looks like a weird ha-cha-cha kind of like tango move, right? Am I crazy? It like looks like she's doing some kind of like some sort of dance, and that kick like literally makes my life, because it's just different and it's just flavorful. And I think I was saying this in the what do you call this, top 5 secondaries. In the top 5 secondaries, I was talking about the Ballistica Prime, and I love the fact that it turned enemies into ghosts. And the thing about that is, you know, if you just took the Ballistica Prime on its own without anything crazy added to it, it's just a pretty plain weapon. There's nothing too nuts, there's nothing too different about it, but adding that little boost of flavor really changes the feeling of the weapon and makes you excited to play it because you know that it's got something different than what's on offer everywhere else. I also love this combo. This combo is pretty sick too. Like, I love this dive. And the thing is, you can just keep doing it for some reason. You don't actually need to keep holding down the block key. It just does it over and over again if you just keep mashing. Don't ask me what it is. The only thing that I do have to say that does make me a little bit sad about this is the fact that we can't throw it. There is no way to throw it in any way, shape, or form. I've tried. There is a throw at the end of one of the combos, but I don't know if I really necessarily count it as a throw. It's at the end of a combo, so you can't really start off with it, so you can't cut the combo short to get that throw to go off. And I know that, I believe it was, I know that Reb had said it at one point during our podcast, and she might have been referring to the throw in the combo itself because she did say something about having the combo equipped in order to do the throw. But I think that we thought that it was going to be kind of like a Sigma and Octantis kind of throw, or it was going to be a Glaive kind of throw. Unfortunately, that wasn't worked in, and maybe, who knows, maybe in the future they can add that as a feature, because, you know, they've done crazier things to other weapons in the past. However, it's really the flavor and the personality of this weapon that I am absolutely loving. I mean, just even look at that idol. It's so friggin' sick. So all in all, the Gunsen is an amazing first addition to the fans category. This thing is a literal killer. However, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I am slightly bummed that we didn't see any kind of throwing mechanics tossed in. I mean, we did have the dual wielding from earlier this year, and then we have the Sigma and Octantis, and I was kind of like, ooh, this is like the perfect place to incorporate those throwing mechanics. However, unfortunately, that was nowhere to be seen. But things can be forgiven because this has an amazing moveset with a lot of personality, and its base damage spread, at least I feel, is damage 2.5 proof. So that's absolutely amazing. It kind of makes me feel like, you know, the investment in these weapons is definitely worth it. So if you guys are just looking at the facts and figures, fantastic weapon, can kill high level enemies, and is damage 2.5 proof. But for everybody who's interested in a little bit more, you get some fancy move sets, and you get to do some kicks and some twirls, and you know, I think this is the first stance that allows you to kind of like taunt enemies with a little batting of the fan. So that about does it for the facts and figures. If you want to join me for a little bit more gameplay, stay tuned because it's coming up next. Alright, so I'm very curious, and I want you guys to be completely honest with me. How many of you guys use combos? Because I'm a combo fanatic, and movesets are very, very big to me. Like, I've seen it in the comments before where people are just like, I just don't do combos. Me, however, I'm definitely like a massive fan of them, and movesets can really make or break a weapon for me, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. If a weapon doesn't really have the greatest movesets out there, I'm probably not going to be using it as much. Remember machetes? Oh my god, way back in the day when they had Sundering Weave, when Sundering Weave was the only one that you had, that one was absolutely painful, and I just would not play with that one in any way, shape, or form. I was like, this is... It just kind of like... It was really, really frustrating because the weapon itself felt like clunky, and even if the weapon had good stats, it just didn't even matter because it was just not fun to play in any way, shape, or form. So it was definitely one of those things where it's kind of like the stance really, really made a huge difference. And that's kind of like why I'm glad to see, you know, the stance that we have with this weapon, which is the Slicing Feathers. So this one is actually available off of the ghouls, I guess. So for those of you guys wondering where you can pick it up, you guys can go ahead and grab it from there. But for me, the movesets for this one is just so... It's got a lot of character to it. The hooker didn't even see me. Legitimately, I don't know where the hooker came from, but literally she like saw me for a hot second and just grazed me with that frickin' what do you call this, that flamethrower. What a tramp. Regardless, yeah, I'm the kind of person that's super, super obsessed with movesets. And there are just some, and like, what was it? There was a while back, everybody was obsessed with Crimson Dervish, and I know that people still love the crap out of it, but it's just like not a moveset that I could really ever get down with. And it was mainly because of the fact that it didn't have enough momentum for me. I felt really, really stuck, and a lot of people said, oh, just put some movement speed on it and it'll fix it. I was like, definitely didn't. So for me, I was very much like, listen, I don't play that. And that's kind of like one of the things that I felt with this set, is that it had so much character and it's so much fun, and it really kind of like inspired me to play it. So it was like the opposite effect. So I'm kind of curious to see if anybody else has had that same effect with either certain weapon types, or what was that? Was that the finisher off of this thing? Hold on. We need to have a quick chat about that. I maybe need to blind some enemies real fast because I want to see if I can perform some melee finishers on them. Did I leap over someone's shoulders? Hold on. We're going to include a clip in the end. I'm going to grab like Ash or somebody. Just, come on, let me blind you and let me murder you, please. That's all I'm asking for, because I need to see this thing's finishers. I don't know if I really saw it straight there, but it's little things like that. Melee finisher? No, nothing. I've got nothing. Boo. But it's little things like that that get me really, really excited about a weapon, is when they have like a good stance and it makes you excited to play it because it's like really fucking cool, or it's got some good mobility, or it's got ways for you to open melee finishers. It's things like that that get me really, really excited to play a weapon. So that's why I'm glad that the fans were so good. Again, still sad that there was no throw mixed in there, but at the very end of the day, at least it's got some taunts, right? I mean, I don't really know any other kind of like melee combos that have a little attitude, like it's got some sass at the end of it, and I'm like, I'm glad that you put some sass in the fan, because that's exactly where sass belongs. So let me know how you guys feel about that. Let me go ahead before we go, because I know some people are going to ask about it, because I did mention it earlier and I forgot to totally test it out. But I wanted to show you the ribbon that I actually got for the Gunsen. So we're going to take that out. Again, donated to me by a beautiful, wonderful viewer out there. We've got some slide attack damage, but the biggest thing here is the melee damage, which was 123.3%. So this thing's actually got a pretty good ribbon disposition to it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how that finisher animation goes. Alright, so this has definitely been a little bit tricky to pull off, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. From the front, it's just a standard throw like that, but if you can get him from behind... What was that? It's kind of like you're trying to body slam him from behind and throw him down into the ground. It's pretty fucking fantastic, if I do say so myself. Kind of hilarious. Regardless, that about does it for now. Leave your feelings on movesets and combos in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the Gunsen from what you've seen so far, and that about does it. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!